What I'd like to do today, I'd like to talk about the universal law of attraction and how we are creating our lives with the beliefs we hold and the thoughts we think. That we are creating our own realities.
As we speak.
As we speak. Thought by thought.
I like that. That's exactly true. And I love it now that I'm actually more aware of my thoughts and not thinking by default. I had no idea I was thinking by default before. Now I'm intentional with my thinking, very intentional. Lots of reprogramming went on. It's wonderful. I'm loving it even now as we're speaking. You know, it's getting broader and broader.
Yes.
In my life every day.
Because what I find is that when I'm listening to or reading a book or listening to an audio or watching a YouTube presentation, it may be dated 2008, 2010, and it's like I know I've read it or I've listened to this before, but I'm hearing it for the first. It's like I get the great aha, or it's like I hear things, but now I'm hearing them at such a deeper level.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's almost like I'm taking it cellularly it is changing me.
It's an entirely different perspective. Same information, and I'm hearing it with a broader expanse of awareness. My awareness changes. And as my awareness changes, so does my perception. And as my perception changes, my experience, do we need to keep going on that? Because I remember hearing my mother say, "Girl, that's just your imagination," as if there was something wrong with that. Oh, that's just your imagination. Don't pay any attention to that.
And so now, as mature women, what we are finding is that we need to use our imagination, because it's through our imagination that we are actually creating our lives.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we are simply repeating the past or regurgitating what already is.
Exactly.
So the whole thing is to look beyond what is, or to totally ignore what is. And the children, you're right, they do. They have such wonderful imaginations. And if you tell a child to, dream that and that was in The Secret, wasn't it?
Yes.
Where that little boy wanted a bicycle, wasn't it? And he just knew he was going to get a bicycle. And I think it was for his birthday. And he got so excited, and it was kind of like, had no idea where it was coming from. But sure enough, he did get a bicycle.
It showed up. It's got to show up.
And that's, the more that we're reading, the more that we truly are.
Yeah.
We are. I read a description of being self-realized or self-realization. Self-realization is when we are in divine union. Self-realization, our natural state of divine unified consciousness. Divine unified consciousness. So when we realize who we really are, we are one with the divine.
We're all thinking with
It's in a state where we experience living as a God with God. So what we've always been taught is that God is this separate being, and it's God. We are an extension of God, and we are so therefore, if God is the creator and we are an extension of the creator, then therefore we are creators. And if you think about when you're creating, you don't look at something that's already been done and go, okay, well, I want to recreate. No, you want to go beyond that. You want to create. So therefore, you have to use your imagination. You have to break the boundaries of what is, and pull to you, and what I've really started doing is daydreaming, allowing myself to daydream.
Thank you.
I don't listen to the radio in the car, because I find that words on songs or talk shows very negative, and it keeps me very plugged into the reality of the day. And I want something better for my day, and I want something better for the planet.
What comes to mind for me is those frequencies are available, because each frequency and each vibration has its own set of experiences, if you will. And I think within the last 48 hours, my intention is set to be aware of the higher frequencies. I want to hear a difference channel. I know it's there. I know it's available. Everything that I require and desire is available right now.
Right now.
It's like, do I have the awareness to make it real for me? Yes, because I feel it first.
It's the empowering part where it's like, I can do this. It's the feeling. And that's, as long as you stay on that high frequency of the feeling,
that right there.
that just brings everything that is going to make you feel that good. You're pulling to you.
And I'm learning
because
how to
you're
do
a
that.
magnet.
I'm learning how. There are certain energies. I'm so sensitive to energies. There are people I love dearly, but I love about practice. They don't go as often. Don't stay as long. And there are certain energies that I take responsibility for me and allowing my own. Because sometimes if I'm not as locked in, I notice that it's easy for me to shift. I want to be locked in and stable before I allow another energy. And I'm so grateful to be sensitive to it and know it has nothing to do with the people or place or circumstance or situation, or it has nothing to do with that. It's my own choice of energy, and I know what enhances it, and I know what supports it.
And that's, but see, you're being a purposeful creator then.
Intentional.
Because they say everybody, if it's a grumpy person in front, even if it's family, and they get into the quarreling and you're in the middle of it, well, everybody is our mirror. So you've already got those energies. You're emitting them because that's what's being matched to you.
Yes.
And that's what I find so empowering, because at first it was like, oh God, I'm screwed. You know, it's like, oh, but now I see it as empowering, and I'm no longer complaining about somebody that's behaving in a manner I don't enjoy. And it's like, clean up your act. When you clean up your act, the external
mirror,
the frequency, the external experience will change. And you know, that's where it was like, now I'm getting that deeper aha, because in the beginning it was like, well, I need to avoid this person, I need to avoid that person, okay, I'm not going to that family reunion. And now it's like, oh no, I go, but I set my own tone before I arrive, before I go.
Today I got a report on something, and yesterday a lady called me and she says, oh, I hate to go to work, what do you do? I said, take your party with you. And she texted me, she said, it's working. I went in with a smile, and the same people are different, and I'm doing, and so she called me and she said, that was phenomenal. You told me to take my party with me, and I did.
Yep. And what a gift she was to that workplace. And so when you think about how empowered you are, and the true, you know, you're the creator that you are, it's like, think how you can positively influence the world. And it's the same, that ripple effect, right? It was you, she told you, you told her, she then took that energy, so that pebble dropped, and then
oh, that's how
the
we're affecting
ripples.
Millions of people.
Absolutely.
That's it. Thank you. It is done. It is so done. Wow, that is so cool.
And I love having people like you in my life, because you keep me charged. I love these conversations, because it's like I am lighter, I am happier. I can just kind of feel the hair on my arms, just kind of, right? Yes. And it's just, it's phenomenal. And I just want to have you around more often. And I think that's the key too. Pay attention to that. To your support group. Who is your support group?
Who are my people?
Who are your people?
I know my people. That was the question I asked, about a week or so ago. Who are my people? Oh, I know. I got a real clear image or knowing. All of my people are tuned in, tapped in, and turned on.
Yep.
They're high vibrational. This is how it happens.
And this is how it works.
I feel the wind. Can you feel the wind at my back? It's like, oh, I can't wait to see, because it's already done. I feel it is already done, and I'm just having fun watching it unfold.
Right.
It's just unfolding.
Right.
Ooh, I can't wait
just
to see
knowing
this.
that it's going to be fun, and not putting any limits, or, you know, it's just like, oh, we're going to have a great time.
It is. It's going to be fun.
Exactly.
I get to mop my floor tonight. Oh, it's going to be fun.
And I love, you know, something that you had said to me when we were having coffee is, there's always enough time.
Oh,
there's always enough time. And it's like, and that's the mindset. Oh, you did say that, yes.
Somebody said it.
And I don't remember why you said it, but you did say it. But it was, and then I thought, it's true. There's always enough time. There's always enough money. There's always enough. There just always is enough. And its stress just flies out the window.
And I'm remembering, it's not either or, it's this and.
Right.
There's no limit to anything.
Right.
To anything.
Okay,
Right.
there's enough of everything.
I've stopped saying I'm tired. That's an energy flow.
It is.
There's always enough energy.
It is.
How I only stop it with my thoughts or the thinking that it is. That's the only thing that I'm affected by is my thinking. Everybody on planet Earth is off the hook now. They're free to be and do. It's only my thinking about what they do or what they... I've got control over that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Do what you want to do. I'm free. You know?
Okay, I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
Have you ever had a mystical experience? Have you ever?
Yeah.
Would you share it with
I
me?
have. If you want to classify it this way, I hadn't thought about it. I'll call it my very first spiritual awakening.
Okay.
And it was an identity thing. I was doing some writing and I became aware of a stream of consciousness that seemed really familiar to me because in my addressing it, because I was thinking of things that had not happened since, that I had not thought of since they happened. And it was just like it was coming from somewhere. And I said, who are you? And it said, or the thought was, who are you? And as I thought about that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm somebody's wife, somebody's mother, I live at this house, and everything that I described myself bounced off of something or someone else. So the next thought was, well, if all of that should cease to exist, who then would you be? Oh, shoot. Because what it said was, because when I said, who are you? And it said, if you don't know who you are, you don't know who I am. And that's when I began to try to figure out who I am. And that was September 1980 when my whole consciousness blew open as to who I really am. And if that should cease to be, would I cease to be? And I knew, and that was the journey for me, that I'm not somebody's wife, really. I'm not somebody's mother. That's not who I really am. And just because I live at that house, I now know who I am. I am. Nothing else need be said.
It's
but
true.
that was my experience of addressing and communicating with my higher being. Some people call it God, and I kind of refrain from using God because of the way I was raised.
Exactly.
And the concept of God being that, lightning strike and you're going to hell and that kind of thing. And, and I don't use that term because that's what it brings up for me. There's an inner being in me that is so directly connected and is an extension of us. That's who I am. I know I am who I was talking to that day, having a conversation with myself. So for me, that was mystical, and it just expands as I talk to people, and I love seeing the light come on in people's eyes. It's just, I don't know what I've said, and they say, wow, I get it. Really? And when I hear things come through my mouth, that's the first time I hear it too.
Isn't that something?
That's
when you're just in the flow like that, and I'm the same way.
Wow.
There's no effort. There is no effort. And that's why, even when I was talking about us getting together, it's going to be relaxed.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just a conversation. It's going to flow, and it's going to guide us. It's going to take us wherever it takes us. And I know we just always have fabulous conversations. But you're right. It's those labels. The labels. When you label me, you negate me. And when you really think about that. And it truly does. It puts you in a box. It really limits you, because you are such a powerful spiritual being who happens to be a woman, who happens to be a wife, these are things you do. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I think about, things to do today. Check wife, got it. Check grandmother, got it.
Yeah.
But you are a powerful spiritual being. Yeah. You are limitless. Mm-hmm. And that's when I've read different books where it says that you are limitless and you are loved beyond measure. And that's when, and just saying that, I just get those chill bumps that go through me, and I start to cry.
Yeah. Energy flow.
To me, that's the great, then this is the truth.
This is it. I am the character of Carol played by God. It's like when I identify more with
you
the God.
were God expressing through Carol.
Exactly it. That's usually a way of putting it. Exactly.
Or you are source. Or
Still
you,
am.
right.
I'm not even the character.
Through Carol.
Yeah. Because I began to relate as the source. It tickles me because of the reaction of some people, and I'm real good with that. I laughingly say, they threw rocks at Jesus when he said he was God too. Say, I'm in good company.
Look what they did to him. He did not have a happy ending.
It's probably pretty good for him.
Did not.
Out of here. Oh, y'all are crazy.
Well, okay, and so what we were talking about, we were talking about, church and how we don't have that desire to go to, a church service.
Yeah.
And that, and I said, it seems to be more, we're doing it in our own little groups like this. We're going to workshops because we're now attending group work, let's just stick with a workshop, to where what's resonating with us is that we are an extension of God. We are God's. We are creating our lives. And I think if you want to empower, if the churches really want to bring, the congregations back, especially the progressive churches, then I think you should get up there and say, you are an extension of God. Therefore, you are the creator yourself. Let's talk about how you really are creating your life. And let's really look at, and it is the thoughts. And like you said, and you have to start off small, because I didn't realize, but when I was in the shower, when I was in the bathroom, I didn't realize what a critical individual I was. And the stories, I'd be thinking about my mom, I'd be thinking about an argument, and I thought, do I not think about the good experiences I've had with people? And I thought, this is very, insightful. I need to pay attention to this. And then it's like, okay, and I really had to think, there is a good quality in this person. I have to find it.
I'm sure.
I have to find it. And you know what it really came around to? How critical I am of myself.
Of course. Mm-hmm. I treat other people the way I feel about me.
And then when I got that great aha, it's like, because I'm so critical of me. Once I stopped being so self-critical, I let everybody else off the hook.
Oh my goodness.
And you hear these things, but you know what? It's the workshops I have attended, it's the meditations that I do, it's the books that I read, that it keeps going in a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And that's when they say that you truly have to love yourself. And once you love yourself, if we would all learn to love ourselves, the world would be healed. It would be a utopia.
I have the idea that the love is there. How am I not allowing it to flow?
Right.
Because every time I get a new awareness, it's like, I knew that, but I wasn't so aware of it. Everything that I require, the self-love, it's there, but my critical thoughts, the way I shape my thoughts, it's like an eclipse. Whatever shape I'm putting in front of that light is what's reflected out. Mm-hmm. And I want to move that shape. My thoughts are what shape the light or shape the flow.
Right.
And I mean, your lips are moving, I'm in pain, I think it must be what you're saying. No, it's how I've shaped my thought about what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's just like, wow, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
God having a conversation with God. Source is talking to Source. Mm-hmm. We're just having a good time here. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the most awesome thing?
And it's kind of like, even when you talk about labels, and we're in a society that we like, I'm OCD, or I'm what is ADHD, and we love putting these labels on, and using these labels to identify ourselves. And I used to, because I had blood sugar issues, and I went to a doctor decades ago, and so I was told I was classic textbook hypoglycemia. Okay, so I was hypoglycemic. And so I took on that. And so then it was like, then food became such a factor. And I have found now, blood sugar, we all have these issues. And it's not, I refuse to be defined by that. And it's like, I'm going to make different food choices. I'm going to eat when my body wants, when I feel that it is time. And I know, and now I'm not so rigid. I know what foods I do best. But you know what? If I'm going to have something, say if it's chocolate cake, I just enjoy the heck out of it, and I know my body, because I'm taking it in a joyous manner, and I'm not criticizing myself for, well, you need to go run 3 miles tomorrow and I believe why we have such weight issues is because I think we all as a society, we're so critical of ourselves, we're so critical of each other. I think we have such heavy emotions that how can we not be heavy in our own bodies?
Consciousness. their consciousness. It's like eating, you're talking about eating in good vibration. That's exactly what's come to me probably within the last 4 weeks, as I have addressed that issue too. My body is a manifestation of my consciousness.
It is.
Because for a while, I was really feeling fat. Now, I don't feel fat now, but my body will get the message, getting the message, because I am now feeling differently in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to stop criticizing my body for betraying me. It was not.
It's not.
It was telling me the truth, and I'm like, you're talking to me. What are you telling me? And I now know intuitively, I knew what to leave out, because my body's saying, look, this is what I need, this is what I don't need. This is what, like, oh yeah, we're friends now.
Mm-hmm.
Very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah. And I rubbed my belly and said, I love you, you know. And I looked and said, you're pregnant. And then the circumstances of my life now show me that I'm pregnant with new ideas. I'm giving birth to something that is huge. It's like, oh, that's what you were telling me? Perfect. And it's going down. It's like, oh, I'm in labor. This is awesome.
I love it. I love it.
This is the most awesome experience.
See how empowering that is?
Wow.
That's empowering.
Wow. And I love it. As Abraham says, look at what's going on around you. It will reflect it back. I notice I'm getting different responses from strangers even. And, you know, they want to be with me. And I'm like, I'll tell you how to be with me. This is what we're going to do.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
And don't you have a great time just not having a plan and just going out and in your day? It could be the grocery store. It could be at the park. It doesn't matter.
It does not matter. Hey, when I write in my journal, I do it twice a day, but at night I say, I had a wonderful day. And it's totally irrelevant what I did. I don't even go down the litany of did this. It doesn't matter. I had a fantastic day because I said I was going to have one. I don't care what happens. It doesn't
And
matter.
isn't it amazing when you really are in a good place like that and you can look back, because every so often it'll happen. At the end of the day, I just feel this was a good day. And then I start to review and I'll just go, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I thought, do you know, I got so much, it's like I got a week's worth of things done today, but it flowed because I was in a good mood. I was in a good place. I was playing music. I was dancing. I was, and still doing things. And it wasn't like that list of, oh, I got to get that done. Oh, I got to get that done. It was just like, oh, I'm going to do this next. So what was a chore was then part of my playtime. And it just happened quite organically. It was, and then at the end I was like, wow, all that got done. And I didn't have to effort at all. It just got done. It played out.
And I had a good time.
And I had fun.
Following my bliss.
That's it.
Following my bliss.
That is it.
Moment by moment. The beauty of life, the beauty of life is in the journey, and each moment is its own destination.
That's it.
That came to me one day in meditation, like, write that down, put that on Facebook. And I did.
You know what I love? And Abraham, and I did write that down. It's the basis of life is freedom, the purpose of life is joy, and the result of life is growth.
Oh my goodness.
Freedom, growth, and joy.
Expansion and fuller expression.
Yep.
Man, some days I think, some moments I'm going to burst into flames. I mean, the music, the vibration of music. Is like,
You said you're going to show up one day bald.
I'm just going to be, hair burns completely off. It just feels so exquisite, so delicious. So, oh, this is really good. This is awesome. This is what I was looking for when I was trying to eat certain foods or do certain drugs or buy something, or all of those external things which are part of my journey. I would not change any of it. This is what I was looking for. Wow. And that was my path to get here. I wouldn't change one thing.
I know. Isn't it something how when you have an awesome day, you just feel damn good.
That's the word.
And it's just like, what did I eat today? You kind of ate, but you snacked, but you didn't. But it's when you get obsessed, it's like, oh, what should I eat today? And it's like, that's when you overeat, that's when you don't eat enough, that's when you starve. And I just thought, I just need to get into that happy place. And then I'm going to be, in the grocery store, I'm going to be guided to buy what I should buy.
What I want.
And when I open the refrigerator, I know what things to just put together, what will satisfy me. Yes.
I now trust my desires. I didn't always trust them. Why do you want that? Doesn't matter. That's what I want. And that's being critical, right? So you've quieted that voice. That's that left brain make it make sense. It doesn't.
It doesn't have to make sense. Where's the magic? There's no magic in that. Let the magic happen. Let it flow.
Let it happen. There's its own natural flow that I can either allow it or not. Sometimes I like drama, but I know how to get back. Carol goes spinning out. She'll be back. Don't worry about it. She's good. I go out and come back. I love staying here. And I notice the longer I stay in what Abraham calls the vortex, the more sensitive I am when I ease out of it. And it's not bad to go out of it, but it's like, oh, I can't stay out here long. I like this. This is home, you know, and I love that. I love playing on the edge. I love coming back. But I am definitely much more sensitive to energy.
And you're a gift to everybody, because, you know, with me, when I go and I work with people and it's one-on-one, I have found that what I do is I try to envision them as, what's the best time that we can have?
Oh.
And it's not even about the task at hand. It's not what we're going to accomplish. It's like, what's the best time we can have? And I see us smiling. I see us laughing. I'm working on those times where you have belly laughs and the tears. That's what I'm working towards. Where it's just when you get with people, you just get tickled by things, and then you just start to laugh, and then before you know it, you can't stop. It's infectious. To me, that's a gift to the world.
Okay.
Right? Bring the party with you.
Exactly the wording I needed to hear at this moment, because I used to think it was okay, that's what I need to do here. No, that's my life every day, all day. Every day, I'm going to use that in my business. No, I'm going to use that in my life, period.
Yep.
That is my life. What's the best time I can have today?
Yep.
For me, it's line dancing. Ooh, music.
Oh, see, that's great. Yes.
I'm doing extra spins and turns. They're doing and I'm like, whoa, and I come back and I meet them there like, wow, this is fun.
Isn't that great? It's fun, yeah.
Vibration, music will change my vibration like that.
Yes.
And I now know I am responsible for my vibration. You know, I had a lady call me today, and she had some things going on. I recognized she was waiting for a certain person in her life to say or do something for her. And I said, you know, did you really need an invitation? Could you make the choice and just do it yourself? She said, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, she was waiting on him to invite her somewhere. Like, if you want to go, go. Right. That's so awesome. If I want to do it, I do it. I don't. My favorite line lately, only one vote in my life counts. I voted, I won.
There you go.
Conversation's over.
That's it.
It's it. No other opinions are required or desired.
That's right.
Isn't it beautiful?
No other opinions required or desired.
I don't need that.
And that's when you're a gift to everybody in your life, because you take total responsibility for your happiness and your joy.
Nobody needs to.
No, you don't need anybody to make you happy. You don't need.
Awesome, awesome. I love it.
Where do emotions come in? How do you use emotions as a guide?
Yes.
Okay.
Emotions for me are energy in motion. And energy has various levels or various states, if you will. And I call it my emotional guidance. My emotional guidance system. And I borrowed that one from Abraham. The lighter the emotion, the closer it is to who I really am, my light being. The lower the emotion, the lower the vibration.
Right.
It's not a bad thing, but it's telling me I'm getting further away from who I really am in my thinking, probably. And so, yeah, I use my emotions. I am much more aware of my emotions. I've now taken my attention from whatever the situation is or the person, because that's not where my solution or answer is. I come back to, how am I feeling about that?
Right.
What's my message to me? Yes, I love energy in motion, and I know when I'm letting it flow or allowing it, because it's going to flow. That's what energy does.
Always, yes.
It's not static, it flows. And so I know when I'm allowing it to flow to and through me, and when I've kind of pinched it off, I'm aware that just by nature of how I'm feeling. So I now don't have to go out and fix the world. Don't have to change anybody. No. It's my emotion that's my guidance to me. It's the hot and cold. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. You're getting a little cold. You're getting warmer.
Oh, if I can get okay.
Yeah, great question. I love that. Thank you.
Have you ever had contact with loved ones that have made a transition?
Funny you should ask that.
Interesting.
We've not even had that conversation.
A little birdie planted that thought.
Every day, all day. Let me start by saying I have one of my daughters who has half of the grandkids, has 8 children. And every time she's pregnant, she communicates with the other side. And she'll say, you know, I dreamed about so-and-so. Really? And we had a conversation. And that actually made me aware of that kind of energy. And so, yeah, classic from my personal experience. I had a friend, a gentleman friend who was a very good friend, and I could talk to him about anything. And he kept telling me he said, what food's good for heartburn? And I'm thinking, what food's good for heartburn? Well, this, that, and the other. And finally, as months and weeks went on, he realized he had a heart deal. And I said, well, go to the doctor. And so the last thing he said to me was, I'll call you when I get to the hospital. That was the last thing he said to me. Because when he got there, they found out he had 4 blockages, lots of heart damage. And he lived for a couple of days, and I didn't get to go into ICU to see him. But when he passed, I was so friggin' mad with him, and I just cursed him out and da-da-da-da-da, and I went through the whole grief thing, and when I got into the lighter space, we had communication. He was there the whole while. I already knew. He's my brothers, everybody that has gone over. I'm really clear of their energy. I know they've never gone anywhere. They've always been here. So to ask them that question, they're there. And anytime I turn my thought focus to them, I can communicate with. And it's just an awesome energy exchange. Maybe yes, I do it every day, all day. I even call on them. Okay, guys, I need some help. Send me some energy here. And it helps. I mean, it works for me. It works. And this comes to mind, and I don't know if it fits, but the guy who said, I can't find my money. Where is my money? Where's God? If you just help me find my money, I promise you I'll pay you 10% of it. Turn around, oh, there it is. That's okay, God, I found it. I mean, you know that way. It was always there.
Yes.
Everything's there. So yes, I do even now communicate.
Is it kind of a knowing? Is it kind of?
It's a knowing. It's a feeling. It's an intuition. It's a. I know that. No words can explain it. Really.
Yes.
Words don't teach. Only life experience. So yes. Yeah. Thank you for asking that. Yeah. Nobody that's crossed over has ever left my presence.
Well, the closest, because my mom, when she crossed over, went to the life after this life. It's like I have the best relationship with her now.
Yes.
And it's just I'll be driving in the car, and then I'm just like, "Hi, Ma," and I'm in a warm, loving place, or I'm listening to music, and so I've been kind of cultivating that, and it's like, well, talk more often. And all of a sudden I just kind of get a tingling, or if I'm in the kitchen, if I'm doing something that reminds me of her, and I'll go, oh, and then I don't even verbalize, but in my head I have these conversations.
Yeah.
And it's really wonderful.
It is exquisite. It's exquisite to now know there is no loss. I always knew that was quote-unquote life after death. I don't even believe in death anymore, but just for the sake of theory here. I always knew that, and now I know that. And I didn't grow up in a family, even though it was a Christian-based family, and they talk about life after death, there was no practicality to it. And I laughed when I heard Abraham say the only reason the people go, when you go to the cemetery, the only reason they're there, they followed you there. I mean, they're not there. They just went with you.
Really?
I put flowers on the grave. Why? I mean, and it's okay.
That's
whatever
funny.
Brings your alignment is fine.
Yes.
Like
they're going with you to the ceremony.
It's like church. I don't have to go to church to get that feeling I used to get when the music was going and the whatever was said and it resonated. We went, oh, woo. I don't have to go there now.
Yes.
That's fulfilled with me right now. Right now.
As it should be. As it should be.
It works for me.
Yeah.
And I validate and support anybody else's journey, however they need to do it. I do have to translate or choose to translate certain languages about the God and He and that, and I'm kind of tweaking it in my head when I hear people talk about the God as if there's a separation.
Right. Right.
And I don't see a separation. I don't even feel that.
It feels wonderful,
Who do you
doesn't
think you're
it?
talking to? This is what it is.
Right,
you know?
right. And you never feel alone anymore. You never feel
Abandoned.
and never feel
left.
abandoned.
The loneliness is gone. Because it was me I was missing. Right before I said, or right after I said, oh, I'm the man I've been looking for. My husband, material, he was there the whole while. I knew him, but he didn't look right. But once I came together, when the man comes together, the world comes together. Yeah, I became, I want to say whole. That's kind of I'll have to find a different way of expressing that. I came together in alignment with who I really am.
And see, and that's the whole thing, it's, people have said to me, well, why don't you go Match.com, or why don't you, and I'm like, no, I just as soon, I'm doing my thing. And when my energy is right on, because there is a certain individual that has certain qualities, I want somebody that is a true creator. And I want to get myself there, because and I firmly believe that whoever it is going to mirror me.
Oh.
So it's like, I want to get myself to the right place.
You'll recognize each other.
Exactly. Exactly. So in the way I see it is, I'm getting myself to that place.
Exactly.
And I know it's just going to happen. It'll happen in the line at a grocery store.
Happened.
It'll happen while you're getting, gas at the gas station.
Who'd have thunk it?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that the most awesome thing to know?
That's the one thing I've learned. You don't go looking for anything. You just set yourself, you get yourself right, and it will come to you.
It will appear.
And it's just like, that's too simple. And it's like, but that is how it works. Life is very simple. We just try to make it so darn confusing. And it's not.
It's not like you're waiting on them to be born. They're here.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I stepped into the space of having. I already have it.
Yes.
I have it. I already got it. There isn't anything I need. Now, the physical seeing is so far down, so not necessary to the experience of the feeling of having it. I counseled a lady the other day, and she was waiting on her significant other. I said, well, have you made space? Sleep on the side of the bed you want. Leave space. Make some space in the closet. Park on the way, See yourself feel that feeling of hanging out with your...
Right.
And they can't help but materialize, because you have them. I mean, by law, but by practice, say, if you can hold it here, you can hold it here.
Right.
And that is so classic for the universal laws. It has to be done. And I think that's what they were trying to teach me when I was growing up. It's done in the spirit first. Well, there's only spirit, but it was saying physically it will manifest where you can see it, but don't look for that first. You've got to go to the place, the cause, not the effect.
And then, but once you get to that place, then the material, it just comes.
It is so...
It just comes.
I knew you would be here. I already felt you.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and spending time with me.
Let's do it again anytime.
I'd love to. I'd love to.